Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Maj, aka the Mop of Justice, bringing my PCL D-League Season 1 Quarterfinals match against Lieutenant Gold, Coach of the Victory Road Victinis. If you guys enjoyed this, feel free to drop a like, comment, and subscribe down below. Now, quick breakdown of our teams real quick. So, he has Naganadel, Gligar, Celesteela as Superior with Z moves, Mega Diancie, Conkeldurr, Jolteon, Crocodile, Moltres, Jellicent, and Kecleon. Now, just gonna give you guys a quick team builder real quick of exactly the 6 that I want to bring. I want to bring a Quiver Dance Z Psychic Volcarona with Fire Dance and Giga Drain. The idea behind running Z Psychic is that it gives me an absolute nuke being able to basically deal with the Conkeldurr as well as the Moltres. Primarily the Moltres. Conkeldurr, I could easily just Psychic that thing normally, unless he's packing Rock Slide, which could potentially be a problem, but in any case, next up I brought a Life Orb Weavile, which just hits his team incredibly hard outside of the Conkeldurr, which even then it will not appreciate an Life Orb boosted Icicle Crash. I'm also packing Ice Shard for priority in case Naganadel gets out of hand. Knockoff is really nice just for being able to knock off, obviously, Lieutenant Gold's items and whatnot, and being able to scout for potential Z, whether Moltres or the Superior have a Z move or whatever. And then Metal Claw is specifically for the Mega Diancie. It flat out OHKOs unless he's running like a physically defensive area, which I don't think comes. I think he brings a more max speed variant to try to potentially win the speed tie with my Mega Latios. In any case, the third mon on the team I have is a Focus Sash Dugtrio with Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Sucker Punch. The idea is that if he does not have rocks up, this is a guaranteed answer for Naganadel. Unless he's packing a Shuka Berry. I'm anticipating him to want to bring a Focus Sash variant again. So basically, Earthquake will guarantee bring it down to its Sash because of my Sash. As long as rocks aren't up, I can guarantee eat any one hit, and I can go for the Sucker Punch next turn and be able to get rid of that massive threat. And then Rock Slide is there to help me deal with the Moltres. Next up, I have Mega Latios, just max HP. It's really difficult for him to kill this thing outside of like Naganadel and I guess potentially Crocodile, depending on what it locks itself into. Obviously, he'd have to be Scarf to be able to outspeed me, or else otherwise Ice Beam is just going to nuke it. Bolt Beam is incredibly solid against his team, and I just have Recover for the longevity and Defog. If he gets up rocks, I have the removal. That way Volcarona can easily win late game. Next up, I have an Assault Vest Meloetta. This is designed to help me check the Naganadel because I basically start in Aria form, which means that pairing with my Assault Vest means that I can guarantee eat any one hit from him, even a +2 Draco Meteor, which is absolutely crazy. And I can get off the Relics on, which unless he's either Choice Scarf or manages to get a speed boost, I will guarantee to outspeed it, and then I can just flat out kill it with an Ice Punch, or at least burn a potential Yache Berry if he chooses to bring that. And then Thunder Punch is just really solid for hitting this team, hits the Celesteela, and then last move is U-Turn. U-Turn is primarily there to, I think it's primarily there for me to help check the Jolteon, because there's nothing that I could really go for that will actually kill it, since obviously I'm not running any, aside from Relics on, which once I transform into Pirouette, it doesn't hit as strong because Meloetta Pirouette's special attack isn't as great, especially since I'm running Jolly, but U-Turn was just great for overall momentum. If he predicts trying to switch into something, I could get a U-Turn off. And then last one, I have Magnezone, which is Shuka Berry and Analytic. The idea behind this set is that It helps me deal with the Celesteela if needed. Basically, unless he gets a Beast Boost in attack or whatever, thanks to my Sugar Berry, I can guarantee eat any one Earthquake, and I don't anticipate him braining Shed Shell or trying to scout for whether I'm Magna Pull or not. So the idea is that if I can actually, I basically guarantee eat any one hit, and with the analytic boost, Thunderbolt guaranteed Okos. With my speed investment, he literally would have to run max speed, Jolly or Timid or whatever, to outspeed me, and basically I can guarantee this. Basically, this Magna Zone helps me check that. Is the gist of it. But in any case, that's the team builder portion of it. I'll see you guys in a second with the battle. And we are back. Now, unfortunately, we had multiple DCs on Wi-Fi, so we had to recreate the battle on Showdown, but as you guys can see, he brought the Celesteela, Naganadel, Conkeldurr, Mega Diancie, Moltres, and Crocodile. My best lead against this team, in my opinion, was just to lead off with the Mega Latios, because basically it offensively checks for basically everything on his team. I could scout for potential movesets or whatever. If he leads off with the Naganadel or the Mega Diancie, it could be problematic, but I have outs. I can easily pivot into Magnezone or Meloetta, depending on which either one. But in any case, we are going to lead off with the, let me slow that down real quick. Lead off with the Latios. He leads off with the Celesteela. I'm gonna Mega Evolve and just decide I just want to get some damage off on this, so I go for the Thunderbolt as he goes for the Autotomize. Now, basically, he's gonna fire off a Heavy Slam as I click Ice Beam. Now, the reason why I did this, because for the first couple of turns we were doing, or trying to recreate the battle on Wi-Fi, which, unfortunately, I got a much lower roll on the Thunderbolt. So basically, it was basically I would not have been able to kill him with the second Thunderbolt with how low of a roll that I got the first time. But because I did get that roll, Thunderbolt should have been able to take him out, but we were just trying to recreate it. So I went for the Ice Beam, which would have 2 KO'd, or at the very least I could go for Ice Beam then Thunderbolt, depending on rolls, while he manages to get the Heavy Slam off and get some damage off on me. Because by the end of this exchange, my Mega Latios was pretty low. Now, he's going to get off the second Heavy Slam. He's going to drop to the Thunderbolt, but I'm incredibly low, and I do not want to try to switch around on this Naganadel. So I just decided I'm just going to sack it, try to scout for what its item is, and at this point, I just decided I'm going to go Dugtrio, try to get rid of this thing. Dragon Pulse doesn't even take me down to my Sash, as I go for the Earthquake and bring it down to its Sash, and then I'm able to pick it off turn 6 with a Sucker Punch. So that's one massive threat out of the way. He goes out into his Crocodile. I was anticipating him to be Scarf, but I just decided I'm just going to try to make a last ditch, try to get my rocks up in case he isn't Scarf. But he is Scarf, and we didn't see Intimidate, so obviously he's going to get the Moxie boost, and at this point, I basically had to go out into my Volcarona. I did not want to lose a whole lot of HP on my Weavile, because Weavile was basically my best answer for being able to take this thing on if it got out of hand. Because obviously Scarf, I don't have any other Scarfs on my team, so my best way to revenge it is with Ice Shark. So my only other option is to go out to the Volcarona, which because I have a Z Crystal, I can guarantee to eat any one hit. So I decide I'm just going to fire off a Quiver Dance, see what he wants to try to go for. And I basically, he goes hard into Moltres. I double out into my Magnezone because Fun fact, depending on his investment, he could actually eat a +1 Shattered Psyche from Volcarona and a Supersonic Sky Strike, even if he had no special attack investment, would have guaranteed killing me through the Spadaf boost. So I just decided I'm just going to go hard into Magnezone and try to basically call the bluff. So, and basically I did not want to fuck around with that. Sorry, excuse my French. I did not want to mess around with that Moltres, so I just decided to fire off the Thunderbolt as he makes a good read and goes out into his Crocodile. At this point, he's going to see that I'm Shuka, but I would have had to be max HP to guarantee eat the hit. And at this point, I have to go out into my Meloetta. Meloetta is the only thing that can eat a +1. That can eat a +1 Earthquake, and I decided I'm just going to U-turn out, and that U-turn damage is actually guaranteed going to put it in range of an Ice Shard from my Weavile. So that is one massive threat out of the way. He goes out into his Conkeldurr, which is another threat against me. I decide I'm just going to try to sack my Meloetta as he reads this and goes out to his Diancie, which will be able to pick me off with a Diamond Storm. Now, I kind of had to go Weavile, and I can't remember my Milcloud or if I Icicle Crash. I think I Icicle Crash predicting the Conkeldurr. Oh wait, no, I did Metal Claw. Yeah, I guess I couldn't mess around with the Diancie because it could have potentially swept me right there. At this point, I decide I basically have to go for game with Volcarona at this point. It's not looking too good. Basically, Volcarona is the only thing that can potentially win, and the only way that I can do that is if I set up right, which, the only thing that I can reliably, or semi-reliably set up on is this Conkeldurr, assuming it doesn't have Rock Slide. So I just decided I'm just going to spam Icicle Crash, try to get as much damage off on this as possible, as he goes for the knockoff and knocks off my Life Orb, so the second Icicle Crash isn't going to do anything. He goes for Poison Jab, gets a crit. I highly doubt that matters, and at this point, I have to hope and pray he doesn't have Rock Slide or decides to switch, as I get off the Quiver Dance. And at this point, I'm like, okay, Volcarona has a shot to win right now. I fire off the Giga Drain, which guarantee kills the Diancie. He goes out into his Moltres, and for a while I was actually debating whether I should fire off the Shattered Psyche or not. I basically had one of two plays, which is either Psychic predicting him to go out to Conkeldurr on the... Because him and I both knew that the only thing that would be able to knock this thing out was a Z Psychic or Z Hurricane, whatever. Either way, I would have had to drop my Z to guarantee kill this Moltres. But if I fired off the Z and he goes out to Conkeldurr, then it's still a pretty difficult position for me if he connects and crits with Hurricane through my Spadaf boost. But he doesn't swap around, and I'm able to knock it out with the Shattered Psyche, and at this point, I have a +1 Volcarona. This is a 32% conk. I'm easily going to be able to fire off a Psychic and knock it out, and that is going to be good game to my good friend, Lieutenant Gold, aka Dorian. This was definitely an incredibly nerve-wracking finale, or not finale, but quarterfinals. But in any case, we're going to move on and be able to face off against Platinum Howler, coach of the Coquitlam Red Gyarados, next week in the semifinals. Can we win the rematch this season? I'm certainly hoping so, because I do really want to win the get to finals and potentially win the league. But in any case, thank you everybody for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.